never give in. Never, never, never.
Well, after a few years then, now the Second World War came along.
Yeah.
And did you join the Home Guard then?
Yeah, yes, I did. I was in the local Home Guard, and then my brother-in-law, he was in this auxiliary unit, and they wanted another chap, and they wanted somebody that could shoot. Well, he knew I could shoot very well. Because none of them could all that brilliant at shooting.
No.
And so I was the #1 Tommy gun man. I had a Tommy gun in this house. I had a Colt revolver, a knuckle duster, and a hunting knife. So and explosives. Could make up my own explosive. Bombs.
Were they plastic explosives?
Yeah, all sorts of, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. What was the role of these particular group of Home Guard then?
Well, it was called the auxiliary unit. When Churchill died, they called it Churchill's Secret Army.
Yes, I remember.
And there was 8 in a patrol. I was in the Beckley patrol. That was 8 of us altogether. And then there was 1 at Battle and 1 at Newenden. And they were dotted about all around this area, wherever there was likely to be
how many in a group? How many in a group?
8.
8?
8.
And what was your purpose? What was you there for?
Well, I was there to sabotage if the Germans had come here. Their idea was to creep about at night and that sort of thing, and do all the damage we could with what we got.
Bit of a suicide mission by the sound of it.
Somebody said, well, if we lasted a fortnight, it would be pretty good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yes, I mean the Germans would have come pretty well equipped with tanks and goodness knows what. And of course, there wasn't a lot of weaponry in this country.
Their headquarters were underground in the wood.
Who trained you?
That was a Captain Bailey. He was a regular captain in the army.
Yeah.
He had been. And he was very good and very nice man, very nice gentleman he was. He more or less, he said like we were more or less on our own. We got to use our own initiative because he could, if there was an invasion, that's what we got to do, you see. Look after our own ends, keep alive and do all the damage you could.
Yeah, I see. So there wasn't a lot of training went on then?
Not as far as that went. We did have training for what we did, but we didn't have training for when to do it or how to do it.
Now your group, you say, was based around Beckley.
Yeah.
And you had your headquarters. Is that for your 8 men, you mean? That,
yeah.
Not headquarters for the whole area?
That was for that area,
Just for those 8 men?
Underground.
Yeah. How big was that?
About the size of this room, underground. And we got bunks. I cooked meals under there, down there. I used to cook them a breakfast one morning. And I cooked them a meal one evening.
Yeah, very nice.
Eggs and bacon.
How many of you were down this floor at any one
8
time? All there together?
All there together.
Ah. I thought you might have had shifts, you know.
No. We could all be together. We was all together at the time. And in other words, if there had been an invasion, we lived on there.
Of course, it came a bit close at the end of 1940, didn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. And
well, thank goodness you didn't get called to do anything.
Well, no.
Otherwise, I don't think you'd have made 92.
No, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd I was at 26 at the time, and I would have made 30.
No, well, at least you'd have taken a few of them with you, no doubt.
Well, we should have done our best, no doubt.
Yes, I'm sure you would.
Mm.
Now, I hope we can go and have a look at where your place was.
That's what they were so made up with me, because I was such a good shot.
Mm.
I was to cover them, you see.
That's right.
I would cover for them.
Is where your underground headquarters was, is that still accessible? Could we get to it?
Yeah, I could take you to it. Well, where it was, you see, the point it was, it wasn't built to last forever.
No, of course not.
It was, the Canadians came and dug it out. It had to be dug out manually.
Yes.
And then there was a tunnel it was on a bank sort of thing, and the underground tunnel went to this bank. For an escape, if we wanted to escape in any way. And we got bunks and everything down there.
Was it in woodland, was it? So
all in the wood,
yeah.
In a wood, yeah.
So you had a little trap door, no doubt, to get in.
You had a little trap. Well, you've got shrubs and that, plants and that, growing on top of it. A trap door, all camouflage. Somebody, I think we had one chap, he was a bit of an idiot really, because he had a little fine wire, and his idea was he wanted to telephone, see how far he could telephone on this insulated wire, but it was only just one little strand.
Yes.
He wanted to find out how far he could telephone us from a distance, you see. Well, that was just right. Some old boy came out of his house one morning. I thought, well, there's a cobweb up here, and he went to light them with his stick, and of course he found it was solid.
Yeah.
So he got in touch with the authorities, and they followed this wire all the way back through the wood till they came to where it went down through the ground, you see.
Mm.
They said they was going to start digging. Well, somebody was in there now, and they said, for God's sake, don't do that, don't leave it, that's all right. We know what it's all about. Somebody was in the know.
Yeah.
And actually, it came known. It went down where he thought they got a dig. Next door, not only close to it, was a trap door, and they could just lift the trap door and had steps to go down.
Yeah, well camouflaged.
Well camouflaged, yeah.
Did you get up to any exercises and things? Anything funny happened on the way to the forum?
Well, we had to sort of practice, blowing things up and that sort of thing, making out everything. But
you didn't go testing the defences on a
I'll tell you
military
what,
establishment?
this stuff we had plastic.
Yes.
Stuck it onto a gate post, a pretty solid old gate post. It blew it in half.
Mm. Yeah, it's powerful stuff, isn't
Blew
it?
it in two pieces, yeah.
You didn't get involved with the regular army at all? Not go and try and test their defences?
Well, that was the trouble. On one occasion, I didn't go there that night because some nights I was out here farming on my own, and they had a meeting and they didn't always trouble me to go, and they was underneath, and this chap went out in the wood. There was an army was in the field close to where the air place was. And he went over in the wood to relieve himself, I expect. And then he thought, I hear voices. And he thought, well, they seem to be coming from under the ground, you see. So he went back and got the officers and that. They all came, and these chaps, when they had enough of it, they went to come up and lifted the trap door up, and there was all these people round with rifles pointed at them. And Captain Bailey said, oh, it's quite all right, he said, and we were home guards or something, and they said, that's all right then. And he said he wanted to go down and have a look. He said, I'd rather you didn't. So they didn't go. So that was that. That went off all right.
Shouldn't be talking in your little den then, should you?
Well, no, not really.
People could hear as easy as that. Well, thanks for that, Ernie. That's a very interesting tale. And what we'll do is, next week, if it's nice, we'll have a ride out and see if we can find your old
We should find it. It'll be there. It's got to be there.
Yeah.
What it's state it's in, I couldn't say, because as I say, it wasn't sort of designed to last forever.
No.
I said what it was a pit dug, then lined out with galvanised iron. Well, of course, galvanised iron underground, I suppose it would rust after a while.
Bound to rust away now, I think.
Yeah, I expect the pit would still be there, because they wouldn't have any soil to fill it up with, because the soil had already been
64 years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Long time.
Yeah. So I was the youngest one, you see. I was the youngest one of the whole lot. All the others were gone.
Yeah.
They've been gone years, several years. I was the youngest one of the whole lot.
You're not the youngest one now.
It shouldn't be that now.
Lovely. Right, thanks, Ernie. We'll call that a day.
Yeah, good.
And we'll see what we can do next week.
Yeah.